All right, well, today is election day, and it's been reported already. That more than 96 million people have voted. And I believe, Jonathan and Vanessa, that by the end of this voting cycle, whenever it's over and all the votes are counted and we determine who the winner is, this will be the largest turnout, perhaps, in American history in terms of number of people voting. There are so many new voters, people who just never voted before, who are now voting for the first time. People who just, didn't care enough. But now I think the stakes are very, very high. And there's concern also about people being harassed at the polls. But so far, from what I saw on the news, I mean, there's some incidences here and there, but for the most part, it's been calm. It's been calm here in New York so far, and I haven't seen anything in the news where there's been great, fireworks where people were prevented from voting. Now, as usual, the race is going to come down to 5 states. Do you remember what those 5 states are? Well, actually 7 states, 7, 8 states it's going to be. Do you remember, what the 7, 8 states it's going to be? Florida?
Florida's always
Florida, Georgia,
North Carolina.
Texas?
No. Pennsylvania. Texas is going to go Republican. Pennsylvania, Wisconsin.
Oh, okay.
Wisconsin.
Alabama?
No, not Alabama's going Republican. Wisconsin, Arizona. Michigan is the last one. Those 7, 8 states are going to determine it. Now, for Trump to win, he's got to basically run the table on almost all of those states. For Biden to win, he's just got to win a few of those states. Tonight, I believe Florida, we should know, unless it's really, 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 really close, we should have an answer from Florida tonight. And the reason why is because Florida has been counting the absentee votes since I think September 23rd. So they have already counted all of their absentee votes. You're actually going to see the results when the Florida polls close. They're going to come out. The first set of results are going to show Biden in the lead in Florida, because the results that they're going to be reporting are all the mail-in and the absentee votes, and you presumably, we don't know for sure, but presumably that will lean Democrat. As the results start coming in for people who voted in person, we'll see what happens in Florida. Biden wins Florida, he's the president. Done deal. Same thing with Georgia. Same thing with North Carolina. Pennsylvania, if Biden wins, he may very well be the president too, but I don't believe we're going to find the results out about Pennsylvania today. We're not going to find out the results of Arizona and Wisconsin. They're just starting to count the votes, the absentee votes, once the polls close. So we're not going to find out anything about Arizona and Wisconsin. So we'll find out. We'll find out what's going on. Mitch McConnell, you know who he is, right? He's the leader of the Senate on the Republican side. He's up for re-election. What will be very interesting, because we also want to see what's going on with the Senate. He is expected in a normal year to win Kentucky Senate race. He's going up against a Democrat who was never obviously run for Senate before. He would be expected to win by 20-30%. If you see, he's still expected to win. But if you see the results coming back from Kentucky, and we'll see those results coming back by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock tonight, and you see that Mitch McConnell is in a very, very close race with the Democrat, I believe that is a forebearer for a lot of very close races or Democrats winning over the Republicans in those very close races that we talked about yesterday. There's about 10 Senate seats that are up for grabs, and the Democrats need to win 4 of them if Biden wins, 5 if Biden loses, to take control of the Senate. So, well, I believe, if it looks like Mitch McConnell's winning by 30, 40%, then I'm going to be like, damn, people are still voting for Republican senators. We'll see what that looks like as well. Regardless, my guess is we're not going to have a winner tonight. Unless you see,
I was thinking that too.
Unless you see Biden winning Florida, North Carolina, Georgia, those 3 states. If you see him winning and they're going to declare Biden the winner of Florida, North Carolina, Georgia, he's going to be the president. We don't care what else happens in the other states. Meanwhile, 6 o'clock, in about 8 minutes, the first set of polls close in Indiana and Kentucky. I thought Kentucky closed at 7. It's actually 6 o'clock. So we'll see. We will see what happens with Mitch McConnell. That'll be an early forebearer for the night. So, watch what happens in Kentucky with Mitch McConnell. At 7 o'clock, the polls are going to close in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Vermont, Virginia, and New Hampshire. That's all Eastern Standard Time. So the polls are going to close in those states in the next hour and change. Again, you're going to see Biden winning Florida early. But as the night goes on, if he's keeping his lead and they're going to start calling Florida for Biden, he's going to be the president. Same thing with Georgia. Same thing with North Carolina. At 7:30, the North Carolina polls close. Ohio closes as well. Now, Ohio, according to the polls, very interesting. Ohio, most of the polls show Ohio going to Trump. There's a lot of electoral votes. But Biden chose to campaign there in the last few days. I wonder if he knows something or he has polling data that we don't know because he chose to spend his time there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in Ohio. 8 o'clock, Washington, D.C., Alabama, Delaware, Illinois, Kansas, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, big state, Mississippi, Montana. That's all going Trump. New Hampshire, most likely to go Biden. New Jersey, most likely to go Biden. Pennsylvania closes at 8 o'clock. Texas is expected to report most of its results tonight. Texas is a big Republican state. Biden's been running very, very close there. He's within the margin of error. People are holding out hope, including Jill in my ear, telling me Biden is going to win Texas. So I don't know.
I like
Anything is possible.
Wow.
9 o'clock, the polls close in Arizona. We're not going to know Arizona for a while. Colorado, Minnesota, Nebraska, New Mexico, New York. So if you're in New York, you can still vote. Wisconsin, another big state, closes at 9 o'clock. We won't know either what's going on there as well. By 11 o'clock, California, that's going to vote Biden. Oregon, Idaho, and Washington. Most of those states are all going to go Democrat. And at midnight, Alaska and Hawaii, and then all the polls are closed. And then all the polls are closed, and then we start counting, and then the lawsuits will start if it's close. And again, very, very sad situation that in our democracy in the United States, we have unelected judges who may decide our election. I hope that's not the case. I hope that we have a winner without an unelected judge deciding on our election.
And you said that happened in 2000?
That happened in 2000, correct.
Right.
And what they decided was there was, if you remember the hanging Chad, there was a legal, in Florida you would poke a hole in a ballot, and then there was arguments because the little piece of paper was still hanging from the ballot.
Yeah.
And the argument was, is that a proper ballot? Because the paper didn't fall off. We don't know for sure if that's who they were voting for. Maybe the paper fell. Maybe the paper fell off by mistake. So they were having arguments about pieces of paper hanging from when you punched a hole through the ballot.
Yeah.
And that's what ended up going all the way to the Supreme Court of the United States. That's what happened in Florida. It went all the way up to the Supreme Court. There was supposed
Florida always has
there was supposed to be
always something with Florida.
Florida. It's always whenever any SHIT goes down, it's always Florida.
Oh,
and whenever
Florida.
and whenever there's some crazy sex story, it's always in the UK. Right? What is up with that, right? Florida and the UK, right? UK's got the crazy sex stories, and Florida's just got the crazy SHIT going on down there.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Meanwhile, have you taken a walk around Midtown Manhattan?
I just saw videos. I'm too scared to walk around that area.
Yeah, that's where I live. I got to walk around there. That's where I live.
That's why you need to get home early.
That's where I need to come up to apartment. What is that? 1A now?
A.
Just A.
A.
I'm coming up to
It's
apartment
fine
A.
over here.
Yeah.
They're not coming over here.
Yeah, you know what? You know what? When Uncle Brad invades Harlem, it ain't going to be the same anymore. All right? I'm moving in.
You're right.
What is it? The Jeffersons.
Yeah,
I'm moving on up.
Okay.
Midtown is bananas right now.
So meanwhile,
Yep.
retailers across the country are stepping up security measures. Tiffany's in Manhattan, right there on 57th and 5th, Saks Fifth Avenue, on 5th Avenue, on 53rd Street, CVS, Target, Macy's, they all boarded up their stores. All boarded it up. All boarded up. Now, the cost to board up the stores, depending on the size of the windows and how many windows they have, range anywhere from $150 all the way to $31,000. But you want to know what? They're saving money because the cost of replacing the merchandise, the cost of replacing the windows is a lot more.
The furniture.
Yeah. The FBI is investigating the Trump train. Did you see that? The incident Friday when cars were swarming Biden's campaign bus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were trying to. It looked like they were trying to run the bus off the road.
Yes.
The dangerous caught-on-video highway confrontation led the Biden campaign and state Democrats to cancel multiple Texas events. There was at least one minor collision. Those inside the trunks honked their horns, shouted while surrounding the Biden bus and slowing it down. I don't understand. Isn't Biden supposed to have Secret Service? Where's the Secret Service? Where's the police escort? I don't get that.
So he was actually in that bus?
I don't know. I believe he was.
See, that's why I didn't think he was in that bus.
That part I didn't get.
What? Who's in the if they're having a Biden bus, who's in the bus if it's not Biden? Oh, it was Kamala Harris actually.
Okay,
Jill is saying it was Kamala, but still, where's the police? Where's the Secret Service?
They should still have some kind of escort.
Yeah.
Regardless if it was Secret Service or not. That's
of course,
crazy.
That's crazy to me. According to statistics from the Johns Hopkins University, because it is election night, there's now 47.2 million coronavirus cases worldwide. More than 1.2 million people have died. In the United States, over 9.3 million people have been diagnosed with corona. France, Germany, and Belgium all in partial lockdown. The rest of Europe is shortly to follow. Canada is getting battered 2-3 weeks after Canadians celebrated their Thanksgiving holiday. The country is seeing a national spike. And people are very concerned about Thanksgiving because there's going to be get-togethers for Thanksgiving, and there is going to be a huge spike in coronavirus. Yeah, there's going to be some super spreader Thanksgiving events. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, talking about, the stuffing on the turkey, that's, talk about super spreader events. I mean, I don't know what stuffing on turkey and super spreader events have in common. I thought I was going to have something witty to say.
I thought you were going somewhere.
I actually was going somewhere with something witty, and then I'm like, nah, forget it. It was corny. It was corny. It's tea time.
Tea time.
Did you see Lady Gaga's reaction after Trump mocks her over her performance in Pennsylvania? Lady Gaga was not content to stop her attacks on Donald Trump after a social media response to the president slamming her at a rally early in the day, on the day before the election. Ahead of Gaga's performance at Biden's rally in the battleground state of Pennsylvania on Monday, Trump took to Twitter to slam his Democratic opponent, claiming Gaga's appearance at Biden's event is proof that the former vice president would ban fracking. Trump tweeted, "Just learned that Sleepy Joe Biden is campaigning in Pennsylvania with Lady Gaga, a proud member of Artists Against Fracking." Appearing as promised, she urged her fans, Pennsylvanians, and all Americans to vote for good person Joe Biden. So let me ask you a question. Is one day before the election for President Donald Trump to start an entire Twitter war with Lady Gaga? Is that this is who we're voting for? That's that's what's most important on this guy's mind?
Honestly, just anything that he does, insane to me. Like, it really does not seem real. Like, I saw one of his little events that he was, I don't know where exactly it was, but he was talking about LeBron James, and just like talking about how whack he is because, you know, they were protesting, and it's like, that's why nobody watches basketball, and his jump shot is all whack. He's like he's just talking mess about everybody.
This is such a petty president.
Meanwhile, Lady Gaga had a great reply to Donald Trump. She said, "So happy, I'm glad to be living rent-free in your head."
Right. I love her.
I thought that was great. I thought that was great. Meanwhile, what's up with the Kardashians? Excuse me 1 second.
Privilege.
They're still
Are they overly privileged?
Absolutely.
Are they overly privileged? You know, they don't care about the pandemic. Kim, she rented an entire private island. I made a joke about going to a private island. I'm not renting one.
And for her 40th.
Right.
Yeah.
So she rented one. She threw a party for herself. Hell with the world. Yeah. Hell with everybody else. I'm Kim Kardashian, and I'm going to go rent an island. And not only rent one, but then show off about it. You know, I mean, nobody says, as I watched it, I said, you know, she has money, she earned it, she works hard. Nobody says you can't go spend your money. And who am I to tell her how to spend her money? If that's what she wants to do, she earned it, go spend it, go use it. But why show off in this time and age with unemployment where we're at, with a presidential election coming up, like she don't have a care in the world? Why show off like that? Why? I found it in terrible taste.
Distasteful.
It was absolutely distasteful.
My thing is, now at this point, this is a part of her brand, you know? So it's like, and this is a part of every celebrity's brand because of social media. So they literally just throw out all the, you know, the lavish things that they do and, you know, brag about it while we sit here collecting unemployment and like wondering how we gonna eat the next meal.
Yeah, why is that?
It was a big birthday for her, though. It was like her 40th, whatever. That part I kind of got. And I mean, if she would have gotten people together in one of her big estates in LA, it would have been an issue too. So, but yes, there's no surprise that this would be the magnitude of a birthday party for a Kardashian.
I don't mind her actually getting the island because listen, she has money. She got the money. However she got the money, like that's her thing. But like, to come out and just be like, yes, so I just rented out a whole island for just me and my friends and my family. That right there is just like, okay, bro. Like,
I mean, is it that they're tone deaf? I mean, because here she is 6 months earlier going to President Trump. I went to law school. I'm going to get people out of jail who don't deserve to be in jail, and then turn around and do this. Is it they're tone deaf? Is it that their ego takes over? Is it that they don't seem to know what reality is anymore? Is it some combination of the three?
I think it's a combination of, for sure. I mean, like I said, it's the privilege, the Kardashian privilege. They literally take any man they want. They say anything they want. They do whatever they want and somehow get away with it.
Wouldn't it be ironic if they ended up, the Kardashians, in the super spreader event? I think when you're a celebrity like that, I'll be honest with you, you have an obligation, I believe. I could be wrong. I mean, maybe celebrities say I don't have an obligation to anybody. But I believe you have an obligation to be a role model and do the right thing. And to me, in this day and age, with everything that's going on, whatever she may have done, trying to get somebody released from jail who was innocent, and I commend her for that. To me, she ruined it all with this. Because what kind of role model are you? And what are you trying to tell other people that they should do? I mean, it's so, to me, so shallow. The whole entire thing is so extraordinarily shallow. And to me as a celebrity, you have an obligation to do the right thing and have people emulate you. And people say, you know what, the only thing important in life is money and living the good life and what I'm wearing and, where I'm going and how fabulous I am. And you know what? There's a lot more to life than that. And
I'm going to tell you, there are people that are more rich than her and do 10 times more than what she did and don't say anything about it. Yeah. I know of Tyler Perry taking his whole cast, all his shows just this December, and also earlier this year, taking them all to a private island. But he didn't go to the media and show that. Only reason why I know is that my cousin works on his show.
Right.
So what I mean, that's like a humble movement. Kardashians aren't humble.
Well, maybe that's part of their brand of not being humble.
That's what I said.
It's part of their influence. Yeah, I agreed with you very much when you said that, Yo-Yo. And it's like, I feel like especially them, they have so much influence, but they influence when it's convenient for them, depending on what the PR, what their PR needs them to do at that point in time. So, yeah.
Meanwhile, she's not the only sister to run into some hot water. Kendall didn't even pay lip service to the 2-week quarantine safety measures when she threw a star-studded Halloween party amid the pandemic. She reportedly invited 100 people to her party at Harriet's Rooftop in Los Angeles just days after her sister Kim was slammed for her lavish 40th birthday. Many people on social media were not happy when photos showed maskless guests and no social distancing. Guests were warned not to post on social media of any kind, but of course you're at Kendall Jenner's party. Of course you're going to. People there included Justin Bieber, Sweetie, Paris Hilton, Travis Scott, The Weeknd, Winnie Harlow, Jaden Smith, and a lot of the other family members. One person tweeted, the mayor of Los Angeles, Eric Garcetti, mayor of LA, can you find all these celebrities already? They are not above the law. How are you giving fines to nobody, TikTokers, but won't do the same for the most known celebrities? I mean, one person said, okay, Kendall Jenner, blowing out candles as a masked waiter holds her cake and tries to move out of the way was actually the scariest thing I saw at Halloween. So, I mean, and obviously she doesn't care. She'll get all the fines she wants. She doesn't because she's like, all right, I'll pay the fine. Big deal. But you want to know what's not a big deal? God forbid that ends up being a super spreader event. Nobody at that event, this is the problem. Because you would never go into...
I feel they're untouchable.
You would never go down the street, although Donald Trump says he would. But you would never go down the street and take out a gun and just kill an innocent person walking by and say, bang, you're dead. You'd never do that.
No.
Okay?
No.
But if you attend a super spreader event, you potentially, as we said, Donald Trump, his 18 events killed 700 people. It was scientifically proven. You potentially may not hurt yourself. You may not hurt somebody close to you. But the whole concept of the super spreader event is you may get sick, you may give it to someone else who gets sick, they may give it to someone else who gets sick, and that third person who you've never met, you don't know anything about, dies. And that responsibility, that death goes back to you who may have attended Kendall Jenner's birthday party, but you never know you killed the person. That's the problem.
And you super spread it.
So we have some comments from some squatters talking about the Kardashians and Jenner. So Vivian is saying they aren't the same people they used to be. They are really giving back now, especially Kim. And then also said that they're doing a lot for the Armenian community as well. So, yeah, so I feel like that is something that we did touch upon, and we did say they're doing a lot for not even only just the Armenian community, they're doing a lot for different communities. It's more so like if you're going to be, that type of person, somebody who's supposed to be a motivator or inspiration, you kind of throwing out your fame and your money at a time like this, it's kind of in poor taste, and that's just from my opinion. Not taking away from all the great stuff that she's done, especially within the past year or couple years.
I mean, I just feel like, and no matter what, people are always going to be criticized.
I mean, you have
plenty of good.
Vanessa, you have an Instagram account. You have lots of people follow you. Your post, I see what you're posting. I'm in, fabulous party with my friends and everything. I mean,
Right.
You do it. Everybody does it to a level, but I think the difference is that you don't have an obligation to anybody yet. Maybe one day you will, but to me, the Kardashians, they have an obligation as role models, and that's where I have a
agree.
problem with.
I agree on that. And I think that knowing the severity of the case, we should just be more sensitive to it, knowing that there are cases rising and there's a spike.
To throw oil onto the Kardashian fire. Did you see this ridiculousness? Kourtney, the eldest, did you see what she had to say? She is spreading conspiracy theories on Instagram. She reposted an unattributed blurb that read in part, those blue masks mandated at the grocery stores and on the airplanes, they have carcinogens and cause cancer. And the American Cancer Society, because she even referred to the American Cancer Society, they said that is hogwash. Not true, never been proven.
Wow.
Conspiracy theories.
The amount of followers that they have, and I don't think, it's smart to say anything like that.
Exactly.
Especially if you don't know if it's true or not.
What's the old saying? Stay in your lane. Are you a doctor? Are you a scientist? Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane, Kardashians.
Yes.
Stay in your lane. Meanwhile, sadly, did you see, the original James Bond died this week. Did you see that? That was pretty sad.
Yes, Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he passed away at Saturday at the age of 90. Connery was the most famous. Do you think he's the most famous Bond? Who's the most famous James Bond in your? Or is it Daniel Craig only because that's who you watch now?
No, I mean,
Pierce
I think,
Brosnan?
I give it to Sean.
There's nothing
I
like
did
the
Sean and
original.
Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan was like one of the first ones that I watched when I was growing up.
Who was your favorite Bond?
Pierce is mine.
Really? Because that was when you were growing up.
Yeah, so that's what, that was the
I mean,
first one that I
we're only
saw.
familiar with what we know. Oh,
Right.
He's so handsome. He is so handsome.
Yeah. And
Whoa,
he's your
that's
favorite
big.
as well?
I'm just saying. I just like that shot. He looks so badass. I don't know. We'll save that for a Wednesday, I guess.
I know who I want to see as Bond,
James
though.
Bond.
Who?
I want to see Idris Elba.
Black Bond. Black Bond.
Yes.
Why not?
He is. And he's British. He deserves it.
Why not?
He's an amazing actor.
Well, I
feel like
I think Daniel Craig said he's not going to be Bond anymore after. I think he said this was his last Bond, if I read properly. But maybe I didn't read properly because I have to renew my subscription to People Magazine. But I believe when I did read People Magazine, he did say this would be it. And he's pointing that gun right at me. He's pretty scary looking.
Yeah, right. I don't know why.
Pierce
Coming right
Brosnan's
for
pretty
us.
scary looking too, pointing that gun at me. Yeah, one of the Bonds was filmed in Jamaica. There's actually a hotel called Golden Eye.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they actually, I don't know what happened at Golden Eye, if they filmed it there, or it's maybe some of our Jamaican viewers can fill us in on what Golden Eye. I know it's a hotel.
Put it in the comments.
I know it's a very famous hotel in Jamaica, and it's very romantic. So if you want to go on a romantic weekend, I believe that's a very romantic place to go. But I don't know why they call it Golden Eye. If it was maybe one of the producers of the James Bond movies owns it, or James Bond was filmed there, something. Thanks for watching. For more Brad Show Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.